up, guys? Legacy here. And if you missed part one, make sure you check that out. It is on Full Frontage channel. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Hey guys, I'd like to do a quick shout out to our sponsor, Mobile Gaming Corps. Make sure you guys check out all their products. The link to their website will be in the description. Also, use code Legacy or Full Frontage at checkout for an extra 10% off. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So 4.2.2 was a massive patch. Let me just pull it up here. So one of the big thing was new champions, the new locations. So Galio got released in testing. Yep. Very excited for this. Was the position preference.
Yes.
We don't get it yet, but I believe it's available in EU and SEA. But that's gonna be really good. I haven't had any problems yet with like picking lanes and stuff. So, but the roll queue is going to be huge. Because then you don't get autofill to like some role that you never play. So, luckily for us, I feel like we can play most of the roles. And then go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing I try to do personally is try to have at least one champion in each role that I know how to play. So if I ever do get forced into a role, at least I know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Or have like
how to play it.
Yeah, or have like a flex champion. I swear by Tristana being a flex champion. No one has played her mid yet, but I swear she's a flex champion. One of the other things in testing is ARAM. Really excited for that. I definitely want ARAM. I feel like ARAMs are some of the most fun you can have. You just chuck that snowball at someone, you dash in, and the game's like usually queue up faster. Now, my queue times have only been like 15 to 20 seconds, so I don't think that'll be a problem.
I've had a couple queue times hit like the 45, 50 second mark, but nothing has been like too crazy just yet.
Let's see what else here. So the ARAM, they talked about ranked season 2. So once you hit gold, you get a custom Jinx skin, which is, I believe, the Inglorious one. Let me just double check here. Or Glorious Jinx. Yep, that's the reward.
Yep.
So that's really cool to get that. They talk about the Wild Pass. And then once you hit the level 50, you get the Helicopter Jacks, which is really cool. And I like how they subtly like have skins and stuff for champions that maybe are out of the meta that make you want to play them again in the meta. And it kind of goes with like their patch notes. I think 2 patches ago, they increased Jax's range for his Q. So
I think that was 2 patches ago, yeah.
Yep. 120 hertz support. So all you players out there on the iPad Pros or whatever it is, I don't know what phone is it. What phone has the 120 besides the Razer phone? OnePlus. Yeah, OnePlus. That's testing. By the way, I did play it on my Razer phone. It's beautiful. Doesn't have the 120 hertz yet though. Item changes, skins. I haven't felt like anything different from the item changes because maybe I don't use those items, but I know they're adding the tankier items, which kind of scares me. I get scared for tank meta. Tank meta can be boring. It's just a bunch of meatballs slapping each other around in lanes, and we'll just have to see how that goes. One of the things I did like that they did was the positioning part, where they kind of changed some of the icons. And the one that caught me off guard was actually the marksman one, because I didn't know like what that was when I queued up in the game, because I was trying to look for it, but they changed that. And then the nerfs, they nerfed Alistar, which sucks because he was like my go-to support to basically wreck people. Darius, Dr. Mundo, and then Oriana got nerfed, which makes me sad because she was my go-to mid. So, what do you feel like with the patch notes, and like how do you feel that has it affected the gameplay for you, or do you think it's mainly for probably the competitive meta?
I think it's probably for the competitive meta. I think that over time I think when people just see like that a champion's getting a nerf, they just assume that it's going to be bad. and that is not always necessarily the case. Typically, what they're nerfing is the parts of the champion that are really, really strong, and the rest of the champion is probably still pretty good if you know how to play them correctly. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing is even with nerfs coming in, will people be able to hit combos off successfully? Will people be able to still identify what comps work? Because maybe with a certain nerf, having a different champion that you queue up as like a support or an ADC, having them be able to kind of pick up where that champion was nerfed late game just by changing the composition will still go a long way. So I think that's more of like the competitive, hardcore, like the full team side of it, where the rest of the team kind of picks up where that champion now lacks because of the nerf. But in terms of general gameplay, like for casuals and things like that, if you're really good with the champion, you could probably still play them. But if not, then there are tons of other champions in that role as well if you feel like you need to switch things up a little bit. But for me, as like a kind of like coming into the game, like playing, I don't want to say casual because I'm grinding it right now, but as like somebody who is newer to actually playing the MOBAs, I've watched a ton of leagues, so like I understand like the basic concepts. I understand the different builds, the items, the rune abilities and stuff like that, and like positioning and where to rotate and stuff. But for newer players coming in, it's definitely going to be important for them to learn different champions, and don't be afraid of like if you see nerfs on a patch notes, still try the champion anyway if that was a champion that you really liked, and see if you're able to make it work, and just based on whatever nerfs they get, try to adjust that with your item build. Maybe there are different ways to make use of your items that make the champion more powerful in a different way. So just kind of play around with things and don't be afraid of nerfs.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest nerfs that I've seen in the Wild Rift patches was, I don't know if you remember, but Evelyn mid used to be a big thing.
Yes, I used to play Evelyn mid.
Yes, that's how I climbed in the SEA region. So Evelyn mid was a big thing. So there is a reason to the nerfs. Definitely is a reason to the nerfs. So I think overall the champion balance, like you mentioned earlier, the balancing team's doing a great job keeping it competitive. I wish that what is his name? Riot
JCM.
Yes, JCM could leak us this data and information that he always has on the analytics of like the win rates and how he feels they're too strong. There's got to be some API somewhere for us eventually, because that's valuable data. So I think right now there is. I think Katarina's still pretty strong in the mid lane, and Corki is really good if you know how to use them.
Yep.
But I feel like in the most common tiers, which will probably be iron, bronze, silver to gold, I think you kind of see most of the same champions. There's no one's building team comps like super like, hey, we're gonna be a dive comp. It's a lot of the common people, which is good because then you learn how to counter them. And say you lost 2 games ago against Zed and you same champions, and like you were saying with nerfs and stuff, you can still learn to adapt and then get better at the champion. Like one of the things I see people do is they lose on one champion and they're like, oh, that champion's trash. Let me go find another one or look up a guide to see who should I play as. Like I think playing a champion that you're comfortable with, whether it's range, whether you like to be damage or you like to be an assassin, like just stick with those, and then that's what'll help you climb. So
right.
And I think for the most part, I think a lot of people will be stuck hard stuck silver and gold, platinum. I think that's going to be how it is for now, at least. Next thing I want to talk about is shout out to Mobile Gaming Corp for basically sponsoring our show for us. Use code Legacy at the checkout, and I believe it's code full Frontage as well, right?
Yep.
So claw socks, headsets, everything. And they have this new thing that I don't think's released yet. It's called like
coming in May.
The Pro Port or something or whatever.
The Ping Pro.
The Ping
it's coming
Pro.
In May.
This is a must-have because it allows you to connect your Ethernet in there. So like I'm super excited for that. So
Yep. It has Ethernet, HDMI, USB-C, and then I think it's just the three. Maybe a lightning cable. Or no. Maybe a mini HDMI. So it might be HDMI, mini HDMI, Ethernet, and then a USB-C for charging. And basically what it looks like is most dongles go straight in to the device, so it'll stick straight in. But this one actually has a design where it goes up to run alongside the edge of your device and then plug straight in. So it's not sticking out, it's just resting on the side of your device.
yes, and that's like with my lightning adapter thingy, it just sits there and bends, and that's why it disconnects all the time. So, genius. You guys are smart over there.
Yeah, because like if you hold your phone like this and you have the dongle sticking out, like you need to like put your fingers around it and hold it. But with the Pink Pro, it's gonna rest on the side of your device, so you're able to just put your hand over it and not have to. You can put your hand up higher if that's how you hold it. You don't have to basically worry about having the cord go in between your fingers. You can just kind of put it and hold your device how you normally would. So I'm really excited for it.
Very ergonomically sound, if that's the correct wordage. I think so.
I think so. Something like that.
Something like that. We'll just go with that. We'll go with that. So the next thing I want to talk about is advice. And this is something I'd like for us to do each episode, and maybe as we continue to do these, we can get topics from the community. But the first topic of advice I want to talk about today, especially since the game just dropped, is content, creating content. And I'll actually let you go first, and then I'll go off of maybe what you say.
Yeah. So one of the biggest things that I think stops people from creating content is this mentality that if you look at a content creator, odds are they have a really good PC, they have really good quality microphones, they have really good quality webcams, they have all this stuff. And that's kind of like the precedent that people think like that's what they need to start content. That is not true. When I started creating content, I was using a laptop. I used my laptop webcam, so it's like 720p, maybe even less. And then I didn't have like a good capture card. I was using a headset microphone, which some headset microphones are really good quality, don't get me wrong, but it's better to have like a studio microphone and things like that. Some people go above and beyond and go like XLR stuff instead of USB. But you don't need all that. Like if you want to start streaming on Twitch, one of the best things that Twitch has done is you can now directly broadcast a mobile game from your device. And that's it. That's all you need. You just need your device. You need a stable internet connection, obviously, and then your device. That's it. You don't need a webcam. You don't hook up a webcam. You don't hook up a 4K mic. You don't do all this stuff. You literally just go to the Twitch app and start streaming, and it captures your device. And that's it. It's becoming that easy. And there's a YouTuber on who does Brawl Stars content, Crying Man. He's a pro player. He has literally, like, from what I've seen from his videos, he has like broken everything I ever thought I knew about YouTube and what I've learned about YouTube. He puts an emoji, a single emoji as his title. He puts background music and he puts gameplay and just uploads it, and it gets like 400k views. Wow. And you can do that from your device. Or like on Apple devices, you can get iMovie. You can put music on it and you can put your gameplay, then just export it, and then you can upload directly to YouTube from the mobile app. So like you can just upload videos straight to YouTube from your phone. And he literally has broken everything I've learned about YouTube, and it's absolutely crazy. So you don't need all this over the top stuff really just to start your content. Just the only thing you need is the will to want to do it. And like if you have a good device where you can stream, do it. Open the Twitch app, hit start streaming, and just play. It'll capture your game audio, it'll capture your microphone if you allow access to, like, when you start streaming, it'll be like, do you want Twitch to access your microphone? Do you want all that stuff? Just say yes. And that's it. And that's what you need to do. And I think that'll be helpful for people who want to start creating content, is you don't need all this over the top stuff. Just come up with an idea, be able to do it. If you have really good gameplay, people are going to want to watch you regardless.
And I think you bring up a very important thing there is the barrier to being a content creator is getting easier and easier and easier. Like you said,
Hmm.
you can one click on your phone, you can start
Yep.
streaming. There's most people play with an iPhone or a tablet that has the editing stuff on there. I think the biggest things people are worried about is being judged. And
Hmm.
you know what? Ask any content creator, ask any streamer, if they go look back 6 months, a year, 5 years, however long, and they look back at their old stuff, of course they're gonna not like it as much, because you get better over
Hmm.
time. If you don't start, you'll never know.
Yep.
I mean, look at like for me, I never streamed on Twitch. Just started streaming on Twitch for no reason, and almost 100 followers or whatever you call that in about less than a month. But if I didn't start that, then I wouldn't have anything.
Hmm.
And I think people were worried about like, hey, do I have to follow this model? Do I have to do this or do that? And it's really like if you have good gameplay, people are gonna want to watch. You don't
Hmm.
need to have the fancy editing and stuff like that. That stuff can come later. Right now, build your brand or what you want to build with, just by doing it. I think
Hmm.
so many people, like even my son's, like, oh, I'm afraid people aren't gonna like my voice, like, or they're gonna think I suck. And I'm like, no, just do it. Just do it because you want to do it and have fun with it. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons, that's probably why you're gonna be so judgmental about it. You want to create content because that's what you want to do. And perfect examples, I
Hmm.
think, like Scoundrel and Stewart. They do very, very good, like educational videos for Wild Rift. Now, as Vorx has very good gameplay, plus like he has the memes in there. So find your balance of what you like to do, and then
Hmm.
just start with one video, and then put it out there on social media. You're not going to get a million views right away, but if you don't put it
Nope.
out there, you're never gonna know.
Hmm. Yeah. If you do content creation with the mindset of like I want to be like Ninja, and you
Mm.
just like and you're just doing it because you think the money is there, I will say you will be sadly disappointed for a bit, because if you take a look at where Ninja is, he started his career in 2012. Was it 2021? He blew up in like 2019, 2018, sometime around there. That's 6, 7 years before he blew up. Some content creators, it's all right place, right time.
Mhm.
And others, they grind and it takes them a while. So it just keep pushing, and eventually your time will come. Create unique content. Always find ways to improve your content. If you do one stream, watch the stream back and say, what can I do to make that better? It doesn't always have to be a technical thing. If it's like you watch a stream back and there was like and you had 5 minutes of silence, maybe it's like, okay, next time I need to make sure I don't have as much silence. That's a very easy fix, but it's something that you're improving on over time. So always watch your content and say, okay, this was good, or this was okay. What can I do to make it better? And just make little improvements over time. It doesn't have to be anything drastic, just little improvements over time, and it'll just continue to grow.
Absolutely. And I think you said right place, right time. That is right now for Wild Rift people. Like you are
Yeah.
missing the boat if you don't try and make content now. Especially like
Yeah.
who knows what a year from now you could start now with one sub. A year from now you
Hmm.
could be one of those 100K plus people. A nice little
Hmm.
plaque. So I'm really excited for this game. I'm really excited for the future of Wild Rift,
Hmm.
and I think one of the biggest things I'm happy about is how interactive the devs are with the community. To me, that's like a
Yep.
really really big thing. I've not been in any of like the Supercell games, part of like those, so I can't really compare that to this. But for me, for the other games I've been in, I think this is like the most interactive I've ever seen a community.
Hmm. Yeah. From experience, it's about the same, honestly. Like Supercell, I think they do a great job, and I think the Wild Rift team is doing a fantastic job as well in their own way. So it's definitely very nice to see the devs being engaging with the community.
Definitely, that's like always a plus. Like I remember seeing like the COD mobile people like reaching out and just never responses on social media. So very bright future ahead. And anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up the episode number 2?
Man, we talked about a lot today, but just be on the lookout, keep grinding, and let us know if there's anything else you want to see in episode 3 of the Rift recap. Let us know in the comment section below.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Follow us on all the socials and all that good stuff. I'm Legacy, and Full Frontage saying peace.